Alrighty, guys. Okay, good afternoon. In this little lesson, we're going to be talking about how to write linear equations when you're given slope and a point, or either 2 points. So what I have up here now are the notes that I gave to my students. I'm not going to go through them, but you are more than welcome to pause them and look at each individual step. But I've broken it down into steps. I've written what point slope form is, which is another form, the third and final form of how linear equations can be written. We have slope intercept form, which is kind of the master form, what we want everything to be in. We have standard form, and we have point slope form, which is kind of a stepping stone to slope intercept form. And what is so good about point slope form is it helps us get, when we're given certain information, get an equation into slope intercept form. So I've given the steps here based on what you're given, and then given the steps of how to, once you plug things in, to change it over to slope intercept form. But I'm going to show you a couple of equations showing you each of these steps. So feel free to pause and read more into that. Looking at number 2, okay? And this is just what I had given my students for homework, and so I'm going to go over a few of them. Here I'm given the slope, so I'm given an M, okay? And I'm given my x1 and my y1, okay, because that's my point. So if I'm given a point, that's my x1 and y1, that's my m. So I don't have to find my slope, which is really nice. So the first step to this is going to be to put into point slope form. So that's going to be my first step. And I always like to write my form out so it will help me memorize it. So point slope form says y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Okay, so now you see, why did I label these points? They gave me a point, and that point is going to be my x1 and my y1. They gave me the slope, and that slope is going to be my m. So now this is kind of like my formula, like my recipe. I'm going to go grab my ingredients and put them into my recipe. So the thing what point slope calls for, what this recipe calls for, is y1, x1, and m. So those are the things I'm going to find. So y minus a negative 1, because that's y1, but minus a negative turns into a plus. So I'm going to go ahead and write that here. Instead of minus negative 1, y plus 1. M is negative 3, x minus x1, which is 4. Okay, so I have, this is point slope form, but they want me to go ahead and transfer it into slope intercept form. Okay, so step 2, there's 2 steps to do that, and the first step is to distribute, to get rid of those parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to take this negative 3 out front, and I'm going to distribute that into each piece, leaving the left side alone, because I'm not doing anything there. So I have my y plus 1 equals negative 3 times x is negative 3x, and negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. Alright, now the very last step to get into the slope intercept form, which means y is on the side all by itself, is to solve for y. So if there's a plus 1 over there with y right now, I'm going to take 1 away. And I'm going to have to do that to my right side as well, but I'm not going to do that with my x term. I'm going to do that with my constant term, because those are like terms. So I take 1 away here, which cancels all of that out, leaving us with y. I didn't do anything to my negative 3x, and 12 minus 1 is 11. And that's my final answer. Okay, now looking directly down here at number 4. You notice 4 and 2 are different, because in number 2 they give me the slope. In number 4 they do not. They give me 2 points. So what that means is I have an extra step in number 4 than I did in number 2. So in number 4 I have to actually find the slope. So my first step is going to be find slope. Alright, and we're going to use our slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, now I'm going to label my points. This is my first point, just like it was up here. So this is my x1, y1. This is my second point, so it's going to be my x2, y2. Now, I plug everything into its spot. y2 is 2, minus a negative 6, so that's going to be plus 6, divided by x2, which is negative 1, minus 3. Okay, so we have 8 over negative 4, which comes out to be negative 2. So this is my m. This is my x1, y1. So now I do these steps exactly like I did in number 2. So I'm picking up where I started here. Put it in point slope form. Okay, so point slope. Alright, I'm going to do y minus y1, which is negative 6. So minus negative 6 will be plus 6, equals m, which is negative 2, parentheses, x minus x1, which is 3. So there's my point slope. Now to get it into slope intercept, I distribute next. Alright, so I take this negative 2 that's out front, and I distribute it in, leaving my y plus 6 alone, which gives me negative 2x plus 6, because negative 2 and negative 3. And last step, number 4, I solve for y. So I take 6 away from this side, I take 6 away from here, and actually those cancel as well, so I'm left with y on the left, and I'm just left with negative 2x here. And I'm all done. So, slope, point. Do it like I did at number 1. You don't have to find the slope. But if you're given 2 points, you have that extra step of finding the slope. Okay? Now, in number, so you can see the whole thing. In number 7 and 8 for my students, in number 7 and 8, you treat them, you have 2 points. So in number 7, they've given me the point 513, and they've given me the point 1014. So those are your 2 points. Do it just like I did number 4. In number 8, they gave you after 2 seconds, the ball traveled 160 feet. After 2.75 seconds, the same kick traveled 220 feet. So once again, these are your 2 points. Do it just like you did number 4. Good luck to all my students on your homework tonight. If you have questions, you are more than welcome to dojo me. And good luck to anyone else who is working on this skill. Have a great afternoon.